Alaska, 1964. Aboard a freighter in Valdez Harbor, a sailor captures home movies of a magnitude 9.2 earthquake in progress. A chasm has opened beside the ship, and the harbor is sucked dry. Everywhere there is chaos from a massive tremor that lasted 4 minutes and released as much energy as 50,000 Hiroshima bombs. The largest earthquakes in the history of the continental United States struck not in California, but here in Missouri. They happened in 1811 and 12 near the Mississippi River town known as New Madrid. There were 3 earthquakes, all above magnitude 8. The Mississippi raged with waterfalls and flowed backward. The powerful shock waves spread through the Appalachians, ringing church bells in Charleston, stopping clocks in Savannah, and rattling furniture at the White House. The New Madrid seismic zone remains active today and is of great concern to seismologist Kay Shedlock.
There will be a magnitude 6 or greater earthquake, certainly in my lifetime. But we still have a lot more to learn. We don't know when the magnitude 8s will occur. Probably not in my lifetime, but possibly. We just don't know.
Most threatened by the New Madrid earthquake is the nearby city of Memphis. It's home to great music, but its building codes are inadequate for protection from earthquakes. Much of its ground could liquefy during a quake, and that includes Graceland, the famous home and burial site of Elvis Presley. In all, 12 million people live in the shadow of a New Madrid earthquake, including the populations of St. Louis, Missouri, Little Rock, Arkansas, Louisville, Kentucky, and even Chicago, Illinois. Much of America is seismically active, and wherever earthquakes have happened before, they will happen again. Boston, Charleston, Portland, Reno, Salt Lake City, and Seattle are among the cities high on the earthquake hit list. But earthquakes don't kill people. Buildings do. And Japan has been on the forefront of designing structures that will save lives. New skyscrapers rest atop devices known as base isolators, which will absorb the violent ground motion during a quake. Another invention, called the active mass damper, reacts instantly to earthquake motion by counterweighting the building as it begins to sway. Houses can be made quake-proof with basic reinforcing techniques. In this test, the house will undergo violent shaking. The test, performed by Japan's Nuclear Power Engineering Corporation and the Ministry of International Trade and Industries, dramatically demonstrates the reality of earthquake-resistant structures. Today, the most seismically active regions of the world are also areas of dense populations and rapid growth. Combine that with buildings prone to collapse, and the outcome will be disaster. When people live in structures with no resistance to earthquakes, they are living in their own tombs. The face of the future is grim. Last year in India, a moderate 6.2 earthquake killed over 10,000 people. Most were buried alive in their houses of stone and mud, the kind of structures that 1 billion people live in worldwide. At Stanford University, a unique research project may offer help to those living in mud brick houses.
Getting ready to...
The project is the brainchild of Roy Tolles, a seismic engineer who has developed an ingenious and simple way to make buildings safer.
3, 2, 1, go!
An unreinforced scale model is subjected to an earthquake. Now, a second model will be strengthened to resist earthquake shaking. The technique involves the use of nylon shoelaces tied through the building's walls at strategic stress points. Once all are in place, another simulated earthquake.
3, 2, 1, go!
In a real quake with a real house, the walls would not collapse on the people inside. San Andreas and other faults throughout the world invisibly gather energy that will shake and reshape the land in countless earthquakes. For Dr. Alan Lind, who has lived atop the San Andreas for more than 20 years, the awesome power of the Earth is not something to be feared.
The San Andreas fault system creates California. The mountains, the rivers, the valleys, the coastline, the bays are the direct product of the San Andreas fault system. Without them, it would be a dry, featureless desert. If you add up the economic benefits, the water that's trapped by the high mountains, the agriculture that takes place in the Imperial Valley, the petroleum products, it's clear that there's at least $15–20 billion a year of direct benefit to the U.S. economy from the San Andreas fault system. And if you look at how much earthquakes cost, there'll be a $100 billion earthquake in California every 50 to 100 years. So the San Andreas provides about 10 times the economic benefit that it takes away from the earthquake.
There once dwelled on this earth creatures so strange and wondrous that